ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। Namaste once again to all of you. So we were seeing the 46th sloka in the last class. Tattva Swarupa Anubhavat Utpannam Jnanamanjasa Aham Mameti Cha Ajnanam Bhadate Digbramadivat. That's what Acharya said. And we were seeing the explanation of that. So here mainly what Acharya is pointing out is that this Bhranti, which is in the form of this Aham and Mama, that is Ahankara and Mamakara, which is the Ajnanam, which is the cause for all this samsara, and which is what is causing all these adhyasas on the superimpositions on the Atma, that will go away. How? Tattva Swarupa Anubhavat Utpannam Jnanam. The knowledge that is born out of Tattva Swarupa Anubhavaha. That is what he says. And as we were discussing in the last class, this word Anubhava is a word which is very often used in Vedanta, but we must not literally translate the word Anubhava as experience. Experience of the Tattva Swarupa. We must not translate it that way, because if we do that, then it will lead to some sort of a mystical experience. You sit in meditation, close your eyes, and suddenly some mystical experience that Atma will rise like a rising sun, and you will see the Atma and all that. That experience, there is no such experience in Vedanta, so far as Vedanta is concerned. Okay. So, as I said, when we say Anubhava, Tattva Swarupa Anubhava, Utpannam Jnanam, that Jnanam which is being talked about as a Aparoksha Jnana. There is no difference between me and knowing myself. That is Aparoksha. Paroksha means which is distant from us. But Aparoksha means there is no distance at all. That is how this Aparoksha Jnana, we must, the rise of that Aparoksha Jnanam is what we say as Anubhava. That we must understand very, very carefully. Right? Because what is this Tattva Swarupa Anubhava? It is the Jnanam of Aham Brahmasmi. And that Jnanam is available to us every moment. That Aham Vritti is always there. It is nothing new which is coming up. Aham Vritti. So, there is no new thing that is happening to know yourself. That is how we have to understand, right? And the other point is, if we if one says that aparoksha jnanam alone is called experience, then there is no problem. Then you can use it as an experience, you can use it in the sense of an experience. But generally, whenever we use the word experience, our vasana is to try to imagine some unknown experience, isn't it? What you did not know earlier, you are experiencing now. You did not experiencing earlier. So a new experience is always something which you have not experienced earlier, which was not known to you earlier. So in that sense, we must not use this word experience. Otherwise, experience, anubhava is not a that kind of a word which is to be totally rejected. Contextually, we must understand, that's all, because Vedanta is all about understanding. It is not about experience, right? So Atma Anubhava is not a new event. Atma Anubhava is always there 24/7. Okay. So that's what is a Pratibodha Viditam Matam. We should remember that always. So Tattva Swarupa Anubhavat Utpannam Jnanam means the knowledge which is born. That knowledge was not there earlier. That knowledge earlier was veiled by the Maya Shakti, by the Avarana Shakti of Maya. Now that Avarana Shakti has gone away, what has happened is that Atma Swarupa has come up for us to know, to recognize. That's how we have to understand. And Anjasa means straight away, without any delay. Right? So this uh, 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 this experience, this anubhava, there is no gap between the jnana utpatti and ajnana nivritti. That is how we have to understand this utpannam of jnanam also. It is simultaneous. As the jnanam comes, ajnanam goes away. It's not that ajnanam goes away, then we have to wait for some time and then jnanam will come. No. Immediately as the ajnanam goes away, jnanam comes in. Right? There is no gap at all. It is like eating, chut nivritti, right? Hunger removal. Not that we have got, we eat the lunch at say let us 1 o'clock and the hunger goes away at 1:30 or something. No. The moment we eat, the first bite itself, the hunger will start going away. Immediately it happens, right? So, but in some cases, the result is slow. Okay. For example, if we sow a seed, it will take time to sprout and then become a plant and a tree much later. So there are two types of karana karyam. We must understand. In certain karana karyam, there is a big gap. Whereas in certain karana karyam, there is no gap at all. And in Kenopanishad Bhashyam, Adi Shankara discusses all these things, in a detailed manner, right? Samanantara phala, he calls it there, right? That which gives immediate result. Similarly, jnana prapti matrad eva phalam ajnana nivrittihi. That is why we use the word anjasa, sakshat, sadhya, sadhyo mukti, all that we use these words. So what it will remove? This aham, mama, iti, cha, ajnanam. The error, the adhyasa in the form of aham and mama vrittis. This it will remove, right? So aham, mameti, adhyasam is the karyam and ajnanam is the karanam. So when this atma anubhava, atma jnana anubhava comes in, this ajnanam and ajnana karya goes away immediately, right? It is destroyed. So the adhyasa is also destroyed indirectly. Directly, direct effect is this ajnanam going away. Ajnanam along with its consequences of aham and mama vrittis. And indirectly, what is goes away is all the superimpositions, these adhyasas which I have been having, all that also go away. And he gives an example for that. Bhadate digbramadivat. So digbrama means confusion regarding direction. Suppose you are actually in a jungle. You don't know which is the direction, which is east, west, north, south. You are confused. Many times it happens when you are going in a boat or a ship also. You don't know which is the direction. Unless you are able to see the sun. And that too you are able to correlate it with the time of the sun. Time when you are seeing that. Early morning, you know, if you see the sun, then you will know that this is the east. Okay. So on a cloudy day also, we will not be able to, dark clouds are there. We will not be able to know the direction, which direction east, which is west and all that, right? And that is called Digbrahma. So he has got what? He has got Ajnanam of the east or direction. Ajnanam of all the directions, east, west, north, south, southeast, northeast, all those things, right? And then he asks somebody, which is the eastern direction. Many times we have experienced this in our homes. When the priest comes for some puja and something like that, the first time he is coming. First question he will ask is, which is east? Which direction is east? Because inside the house, he doesn't know which is east, west and all that. So at that time, he is Dig Brahmadhi. He is having Dig Brahma. Then we will tell him, this is the east. Right? Similarly, this person who is having this Dig Brahma, he is told this is the east. Right? So the moment he is told, Iyam Purvadik, this is the eastern direction, at that moment the statement is given, that moment his ignorance about the eastern direction is destroyed, isn't it? He need not wait and think about it. Oh, can this be east? No, there is no such doubt lingers in his mind. Moment he is told this is east, his ignorance of the eastern direction vanishes. And along with that, his ignorance of all directions also vanishes. Once he knows this is east, then he can easily make out all the east, west, north, south, and all directions. Ashtadik he can make out easily. All that was required was to be told that this is east. So simultaneously, ignorance vanishes when the knowledge rises. So once one ignorance goes, automatically it destroys all other ignorance also, which is a byproduct of the first ignorance. Right? So similarly, Acharya is trying to tell us this Brahma Jnanam removes this Atma Ajnanam, and as a byproduct, all other Ajnanams, Mamakara, Adhyasas, everything that has been bothering us or that has been playing around with us throughout our life till now goes away simultaneously in one shot. That is the beauty of this Atma Jnana. That's why he says, Badate Dik Brahmadivat, right? And there are so many examples we can give for this. He has given one example. We can think of, when we think of it, a lot of examples can come to our mind, right? So, we have been seeing about 6 slokas from this Jnana Phalam started. Before we go further and before we forget what all we have learned, let us just briefly summarize what we have learned from the 40th sloka onwards, rather, where he started discussing the Jnana Phalam. Okay. And in all these slokas, as I told you, what is being pointed out is the result of this jnana. What is the phalam of this jnanam he is talking about, right? The knowledge which has been made free from shamshaya and viparyaya through mananam and nididhyasana. We saw all that earlier portion. Now we have come to jnana phala. So the idea is jnanam is jnanam only when it is free from all doubts, right? Nishamshaya jnanameva jnanam ityuchyate. That we must first of all understand. Because as long as samshayam is there, doubts are there, jnanam will not be allowed to give the liberation or moksha or fructify into moksha. Jnanam will always be stultified jnanam because of the doubt. And that is why samshayam is called a pratibandha. It's an obstacle. And as long as obstacles are there, jnanam will be there inside, but the shanti will not be there. After Shravanam, you will get the jnanam. Everything you will know. If you are given an examination after Shravanam, you will be able to probably score the 100% marks. But phalam will not be there as long as there is a doubt. Whether what I have learned is totally doubtless knowledge. I am convinced about all these things. So that conviction is the most important aspect. And that is why mananam is prescribed after Shravanam. Mere Shravanam will give you jnanam, but it will not give you steady knowledge or a complete knowledge. Only theoretical knowledge you can get. I should not use the word theoretical because immediately you will say practical knowledge. It's not that. Theoretical, I am saying in the sense that it is still laden with some doubts. Samshayam are there. Basic samshayam, it's all fine for Upanishads to say all these things. But is there something called Brahman really? Or it is just some sort of imagination of all these rishis? They want to give us something exotic, some idea, exotic idea. So they have invented this. And conveniently they say you can't see it, none of your sense organs can reach that Brahma. And they have coined all these Aham Brahmasmi and all that. This is, I'm not theoretically saying, there are so many people have got such views. It's a different matter that they may have such views without doing any Shravanam. Whether you do Shravanam or you don't do Shravanam, if you are continuing to labor such views, it doesn't matter whether you have done Shravanam or not, isn't it? Unless you have got the Pramanya Buddhi in the Shastras, in the scriptures, in the Upanishads, unless you approach the Upanishads as a Pramanam, as the only means of knowledge which is available for the purpose of knowing Brahman and Atma, you will not even go to the Mananam stage. You will read everything and reject it. So that is why the test of a real sadhaka is, he starts, his beginning is with sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, and in that also shraddha. What is shraddha? In one way you can say shraddha is this pramanya buddhi in the shastras. What the shastras are telling is worthwhile looking into. Without that, I should not dismiss. And we all have this shraddha. For example, we have the shraddha in our eyes that whatever the eyes are seeing are true. That is the starting point. We have a shraddha. We have Shraddha in each one of our sense faculties. What we hear is true, that Shraddha is there. That is how we approach, isn't it? For example, in a desert, we are seeing water at a distance with our eyes. We have Shraddha that the eyes are actually seeing water. Then the doubt comes, how can there be a water body in the middle of a desert? Doubt. So even though the eyes are seeing the water, and you have Shraddha in the eyes, that they are seeing actually water only, the intellect is asking a question, how can that be? So you go near that water body to actually verify whether your eyes, what they have seen, are right or wrong. This is what is called Pramanya Buddhi. Pramanya Buddhi is not Andha Vishwas, just blindly believing. And if you actually reflect upon it, each and every faculty we have, this exercise we do. We have Shraddha in our ears that whatever the ears hear must be correctly only hearing. But how many instances we have experienced that what we heard was not correct? But for that reason, do we actually say, oh, these ears are useless, always it hears the wrong thing? We don't do that. We have Shraddha in the ears. That is how we have to understand this word Shraddha. Similarly, the Shastras, Shraddha should be there. That is what is the important qualification for a sadhaka. Accept that what the Shastras are saying is true. It is for my benefit, not only my benefit, it is for the benefit of all humankind. The rishis who actually gave these Shastras to us had no personal agenda. They were not trying to form a political party so that as many sadhakas can be roped in, we will get their vote. There was no such agenda for those rishis. So, if I have the inclination, which inclination will come if you have a fair degree of sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, automatically it will be there. You don't need to do anything for that. You need to work for sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. Once that threshold limit you have got, automatically you will be brought to the Shastras. That is the beauty of the system. And once you come to the Shastra, already you have got this Shraddha from the Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. You will never ever question the Shastras about their veracity, about the truthfulness. You may question whether what they say is right or wrong. And that question will not be with the idea to reject the Shastras, but with the idea to understand the Shastras more clearly, more deeply. Not a Vidanda Vadam with the Guru. Vadam with the Guru. Samvadam with the Guru. Try to find out. Why is it that this particular Upanishad is saying this Aham Brahmasmi, that the Jnanam is Aham, and Moksha means, an understanding the oneness with Ishvara. Whereas there are other people who don't subscribe to this view. They are saying Moksha means going to Vaikuntha. This Upanishads are saying Jagan Mithya, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. But whereas everybody else is taking this Jagat itself as Satyam, why is that? These kind of doubts, when you read all these sentences in the Upanishads, very genuine doubts can come. So that Mananam helps you in researching into these questions further and further. And then trying to satisfy your intellectual curiosity. And that is what in Tattva Bodha we saw Jigyasa Nivrittihi as a one of the components of this moksha, one of the benefits or results of this moksha purusha. So when you do mananam, you get more and more knowledge. You are able to rationally analyze what everybody is saying, whether that what is the pramanam for what they are saying, and also whether what they are saying makes sense to me or not. Because even whatever they are saying, also 100 questions can be there. Anything, any concept, if you try to understand the concept, so many questions will come into your mind, isn't it? So this is the whole process. So Nishamshaya Jnanam is what is talked about here as Jnanam. It is not Shravanam based on Shravanam alone, but it is based on Shravanam, Mananam. But that is not the end. There is also a Nididhyasanam. This Nishamshaya Jnanam can also prevent the Aparoksha Jnanam from coming because of obstacles. And what are those obstacles? Viparyaya, our past orientation, the way we have used to think, the way our vasanas are there. So these could be obstacles. Many times we find, a biggest obstacle is many people suffer from this, they must have had very, very disciplinarian parents. So they develop a sort of a averseness to any kind of discipline being imposed on them. So sort of a hatred. Not exactly hatred, some dvesha they develop. Now what happens? When they hear all these things, their mind will refuse to accept it. They will be convinced. But because of the psychological issue there, this guru is trying to tell us that this is the only the right thing, everything else is wrong. No different from my dad, who used to say, dictate things to me. I'm not going to accept it. Big obstacle. The mind is not open to receive. So, not only Nishamshaya Jnanam, then Viparyaya Rahita Jnanam also is required. So, all these obstacles have to be removed for the Aparoksha Jnanam to come and settle in the mind. As a Nishamshaya, then Aviparyaya Jnanam. I don't know, Viparyaya opposite is what. Okay. So, Samshaya Sahita Jnanam is called Sapratibandhaka Jnanam. Jnanam with obstacles. And Samshayam, as I told you, Viparyaya also we have to take into account there also. Another kind of an obstacle. And when that happens, Jnanam, after Shravanam will remain in one corner of our mind. And our behavior, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, all these things will continue on the other side. They are all called what? Armchair Vedantis. You will find number of them. They will all talk Vedanta. Oh, this is what Aham Brahmasmi and all that they will talk. But there will be no difference in their normal behavior of, their desires being reduced, or they are getting anger. Because once you have this jnanam, all this malam is supposed to go away. Even before that, you are supposed to reduce all this malam through the sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, through this viveka and viraga, titiksha. All these things are there to help us to reduce all these impurities in our mind. They are all meant for chitta shuddhi. Because for the jnanam to go into your mind, you don't need chitta shuddhi. For the jnanam to stay there and make sense to you, you require chitta shuddhi. That is how the process is. So you will find people, they will talk about Vedanta and all. As I told you, Swami Chinmayananda's example. I have one fellow said, I have gone through all the Upanishads and the entire Bhagavad Gita. Swami Chinmayananda said, that's very good, excellent. I am very happy to hear it. But tell me how many Upanishads have gone through you? You might have gone through so many things. If nothing has gone through you, what is the use? The whole idea is the Shastra should go through you. It should change you. It should make you understand. It should make you a jnanava, a jnani. It should make you to have a samatva bhava. That is the purpose. And that is what is moksha is all about. So that is what he is saying, that this kind of a situation, where on the one hand, one corner of the mind, you have got all the jnana. Aham brahmasmi, tattvamasi, everything is there sitting. Another corner, everything is going on as usual. And this phenomenon, it is like sun and the rain coming at the same time. Sometimes it happens. And you will say, oh, that's a beautiful rainbow. You will only end up seeing rainbow, no jnana. Okay. So all this anger, depression, everything will continue, along with jnanam also will continue. So when we come to the Vedanta, when we start understanding, when we must actually start looking at ourselves, is the Vedanta knowledge going into us or not? Is it really entering? Guru is asking, do you have any doubts? Everybody says, I don't have any doubt. If you have no Nishamsaya Jnanam has entered your mind, is it getting reflected in the way my behavior is? It's a very important question every sadhaka has to ask himself every day. Yesterday, when that happens, I really got angry. And I showed my anger. Today, same thing happened. I became angry, but I did not show my anger. My goal should be tomorrow when the same thing happens, I don't become angry at all. Accept it. Whether it is behavior of some other person. This is how we can measure our progress in the spiritual path. And when I say yesterday, today, no, I don't mean literally. When yesterday means a period which is the past. Today means the present times. Tomorrow means in future. So the future should be the goal. In fact, when I started doing yoga long back, in the class, the teacher used to start with a prayer. And you know what was the prayer? Every day is a good day. There is always something to be happy about. And then that will end. Every day I will make myself better and better. What such a wonderful, message, such a wonderful, what is it called, auto suggestion. Every day morning you give. I will improve every day. Some improvement than compared to yesterday. This is the way for a sadhaka also. Every day he has to improve. Till finally he reaches that stage where there is no more improvement possible rather. Because you are a jnani. No more improvement is relevant. You are the most improved being in this entire universe. So that is how we have to understand. Okay. So whenever jnana word is used, what I mean to say is we should understand it as apratibandhaka jnanam. That is how we have to understand, right? So only when it is apratibandha, this jnanam will lead to moksha. Any pratibandha is there, it will not give the full result of moksha. The jnanam will be there, but it will be required to be worked on more, right? So This phalam is this Advaita Drishti, right? And he has got the Purna Drishti, and Jagat Mithyatva Buddhi he has developed. So that is the brief this thing till now we have seen of a summary of what we have seen till now. Okay. Now we will go to the 47th sloka. Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi Swatmanyevakhilam Jagate Ekam cha sarvatmatmanam Ekam cha sarvamatmanam Ikshate jnana chakshusha. So here again the vision of a jnani is being discussed, is being stated. How a jnani looks at the world, right? And he says Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi. Vijnanavan means a jnani, basically, that who has got a Vijnana. Vijnanavan, who possesses Vijnana, who has got the Aparoksha Jnana. So, Visheshena Bhedarahita Jnana. V stands for Visheshena. Visheshena means Bhedarahita Jnana. That is Vijnana. And Samyak indicates that it is free from all samshaya. So Samyak Vijnanavan means he is a person who has got that Aparoksha Jnanam, which is free from all sorts of samshaya, doubts, and also viparyaya, obstacles of past orientation. So Vijnanavan has completed the Shravana. And from the word Samyak, we know that he has completed the Mananam also. And Yogi indicates that he has done Nididhyasanam also. Okay. Because, yeah, Nididhyasanam is nothing but that yoga to remove the Viparyaya. Right? So, Yogi who is one who has done Nididhyasanam also. Therefore, he doesn't have any Viparita Bhavana. So, Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi means Samshaya Viparyaya Rahita Jnani. That is what is a Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi. Ikshate. Ikshate means he sees. Right? Ikshate is in the second line of the sloka. Sees. Akhilam Jagat, the entire world, Swa Atmani Eva, as his own self or resting in himself. Swa Atmani, resting in himself. He is the locus of this entire world. Seventh case, Saptami, Atmani. So he sees a jnani, a Vijnanavan, yogi, sees the entire world as it is, as if it is resting in him. Right? And if you remember, in one of the previous slokas, Adi Shankara said that Atmanyeva Akhilam Drishyam Pravilapya, he had said. Right? We used the word, we discussed the word Pravilapya also in the class. So this idea we have already seen basically. But here is a different way he is now putting. So there he used the word Drishyam, and here he is using the word Jagat. That's all. Because there we understood the word Drishyam as Jagat, and here we have to understand the word Jagat as Drishyam. Okay. So the whole Anatma Prapancha, the entire Karya, okay, all my Karya, because Aham Atma, right? So since it is a Karyam, it does not have any existence apart from me. I am the Karana. Okay. Therefore, this entire Jagat is nothing but me, but with a different Nama Rupas. Vacharambanam Vikaro Namadeyam. Mritika eva satyam. Right? Please remember that mantra. So since this Jagat is Nama Rupa, since this Jagat is Mithya, what does it mean? It does not have an independent existence. So, and this Dakshinamurti Sostra, Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nichantargatam. So, this universe, like a city, like a city being seen in the mirror, right? Vishwam Darpana, that is seeing in the mirror, is where Nijantar Gatam, it's within oneself only. So Swa Atmani Eva Akhilam. That is how we have to understand this entire Jagat is nothing but my projection. My Maya Shakti, I am projecting this entire world, and the whole world has no independent existence other than, existence borrowed from me. I am lending the existence to this entire world. My Sat Swarupa is lending, the existence to the entire world and make it appear as Sat, as existing. Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavan Krishna says, Sarva Bhutastam Atmanam Sarva Bhutani Atmani. Same idea. Any scripture you pick it up, the same idea will continue. That is the beauty. So that is the consistency of the message being given out by all scriptures. You can say that, here Shankaracharya has said this in Atma Bodha, and this, what is that? Dakshinamurti Stotram also was probably composed by Shankaracharya, so he can say the same thing. But Bhagavad Gita, Shankaracharya is not the author. Vedavyasa. And he is saying this, he's put these words in Lord Krishna's mouth. Bhagavan is saying it. Sarva Bhutastam Atmanam Sarva Bhutani Chatmani. So everything in this whole world is resting on me alone. Me means not my body-mind complex. Me means my Swarupa, my Atma Swarupa. Everything is resting on that only. I am the Karanam of this entire universe. Right? So now there will be a question from some very, I would say, students who have been following it very carefully. We have always said that Jivatma resides in us. And the Jivatma is a reflection of the Paramatma. This is all we have understood. So when you say it rests on me, the student will say, okay, I understand it doesn't refer to me, doesn't refer to body-mind complex. But when you say rests on me, are you referring to the Jivatma or Paramatma? This question will come rather, right? And as long as he is making a difference between the Jivatma and Paramatma, if he asks that question, that means he has not understood what exactly it is. His jnanam is still a paroksha jnanam only. Okay. He may say, I am the world, but he will not say the world is in me. As long as I am a wave, I will say I am born in the ocean, right? I am existing in the ocean. I will resolve into the ocean. All this you will say, as long as you take yourself to be a wave. But once I know I am the water, the very content, I can say the ocean exists in me because ocean is water. I am water. The ocean exists in me. This is how Swami Paramatmananda beautifully explains this. Right. So whether I am the ocean or whether the ocean, where I am in the ocean or whether the ocean is in me depends upon my own vision, my own understanding. As a wave, I am the creator. As an ocean, I am the creator. So what is the right understanding? Jivatma understanding is relevant up to a particular stage. Aparoksha Jnanam is what? There is nothing called Jivatma. That we introduce the Jivatma concept to make you understand that that is the reflection and all that kind of stuff. That was Tattva Bodha stage. Now you come to Atma Bodha. There is nothing called Jivatma. In fact, I am that Paramatma. That is the final understanding you should have. Right? So as Anatma, because Jivatma is also an Anatma in one way. There is nothing called Jivatma without Paramatma, because if it's a reflection, reflection needs to have an original. So the existence of the Jivatma is also a borrowed existence. So that way Jivatma is what? Is an Anatma only. We are just giving you one more Nama Rupa. That's all. Jivatma, like that. Because straight away we cannot accept this Paramatma I am. Create a lot of problem for a lot of people. How can that be? Kind of a thing. Right? But that's what Upanishads wants you to finally understand, finally recognize. So ultimately the choice is ours. Whether we want to be understood as a Jivatma or a Paramatma, as a part of, and this is exactly the difference with Visishta Advaita. If you look at Visishta Advaita, they consider Jivatma to be a separate entity, part of Paramatma. They give reality to Jivatma. And what happens? They say everything else is Anatma. But Jivatma is not Anatma. Jivatma is real because I am real. Misunderstanding, a subtle misunderstanding of what the Upanishad is trying to say. Still not gone the 100%, last mile is 100% they have not gone there. They are stuck in a certain place where they refuse to go ahead. They are very near Visishta Advaita. That is why if you understand, if you study Visishta Advaita, it will make a lot of sense, because unfortunately what happens there is they are putting the rational thinking parallel to the Shruti thinking, which Advaitins don't do. Advaitins first put the Shruti thinking and then support it with the rational thinking. Shruti based logic is what we use. They use logic and Shruti simultaneously. They also accept that this body, mind, sense complex is Anatma. But they don't accept Jivatma as an Anatma. They say, I exist. When they say, Aham Asmi, that means I am existing. So it's a real existence. They take it as a Satyam. They don't connect on what basis this existence is coming into picture. This existence also is a borrowed existence from Paramatma. This aspect they miss. And that is why they come into the Amsha Amshi Bhava, or that comes into Visishta Advaita philosophy. I am an Amsham of Amshi. I am an Amsham of Ishvara. I am not Ishvara. That is there where they stop. We go one step forward and say even this Amsha is not correct, because this Amsha is also a sort of a borrowed thing only. Amsha also belongs to Anatma only. What is there is only Paramatma. So that is how we have to understand the different philosophies and all that. So the question is whether You exist. So the question is whether I am the ocean or I am the wave. Whether I exist in the ocean or I am the creator of the wave. This is the difference. Both are water only. Okay. And actually speaking, there is no distance between the two. Isn't it? It is not like sun and mirror. Sun is there and the mirror reflection is here. No. Because Paramatma is all, Sarva Vyapi, all pervading everywhere. He is in the Hriddeshe, in that space within that heart. And mind also is there in that place. So when Paramatma is there and the mind is there simultaneously, that reflection is automatically there in the mind. At the same place, there is no distance. All that we have to understand in Vedanta, in Advaitam, is that mind is, which I am saying is a reflection, that mind itself is an anatma. So even if I remove that mind, that Paramatma is still there. Because Sarva Vyapi, even in that space, is there. All that I need to understand is that Paramatma is what I am. I am not the Jivatma. This is how we have to understand. And there is no difference between the two. There is no distance between the two, rather. Right? So a small shift in the vision. That's all is required for the final jnanam to come. When you say, the shift in the vision to say is that Aham Brahma Asmi. That's all we have to say. We have to understand by negating everything else which is not Brahman. And that will happen only when we first understand what all of the anatmas, what all are having borrowed existence. Then only we can say this convincingly that Aham Brahma Asmi. Right? What is the distance between the wave and water? Nothing. The content of the wave is water only. Isn't it? What is the content of the ocean? Water only. So the content of the ocean and the content of the wave, there is no difference and there is no distance between the content and the container. This is how we have to understand this Aham Brahmasmi Jnanam. So even after getting all these Samsaya Viparyaya Rahita Jnanam, this small shift in the vision, in our drishti towards this loka, towards our own anatma components, has to take place. That is what we can call a total aparoksha jnana to become a jnani. It is very simple. Such a simple thing. So why do some people say it is very difficult? Yeah, mathematics. People who know the answer find it very simple. People who don't know how to go about it find it difficult only. Any subject is like that. Jnanam also is no different, right? But this is a very subtle knowledge. Susukshmam. And it is avyayam. It cannot be objectified. And that is why many people find it difficult to appreciate this. The fact is, it is neither easy nor difficult. If one is prepared completely, it is easy. If one is not prepared, it is difficult. Right? Churasya dhara, Kathopanishad. We have just to remember that, right? Churasya dhara, Nishita Duratyaya Durgam Patah. We saw that, right? So it's like a sharp edge of a razor. So that is how we have to understand that. And not only that, We have also seen that all the anatmas are finally resolved into the Atma, isn't it? So there is actually speaking no difference between Atma and Anatma. All Anatmas are nothing but Nama Rupas of Atma only. No difference. There's a kaleidoscope. You just go on changing the different shapes will come. But the number of that glass shells or whatever inside, that is the same only. Just appearing as different shapes and different colors and all that. That's all, right? So, there is no Vijatiya Bheda between Atma and Anatma. And then somebody may say there's Sajatiya Bheda, there's so many Atmas. So that Sajatiya Bheda still exists. Isn't it? So I am one Atma, you are one Atma, like that. That Bheda also must go away. Another component of this Jnana. Because once the body mind is resolved, and then there is no difference between Atma in this body and Atma in another body. Because what all we are applying to ourselves, we must simultaneously apply the same principles to every body. There is nothing called Jivatma in any of the bodies. There is only Paramatma in all the bodies. Like we have taken it for ourselves, for every other body, we have to apply the same principle. Then we will understand that there is only one Atma. There are no many Atmas. And that Atma, that is Advaitam, only is the reality. And that is what Krishna says in the Gita. Kshetranyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Exactly says the same thing. In all the kshetras, I am the only one who is there. Sarva kshetreshu. Right? Therefore, what is the next job? Ekancha sarvam atmanam, understanding that. Sarvatma bhava is the next job. Right? So every jivatma is none other than one Paramatma only. So in the process, first Atma Anatma Bheda is negated. Then Atma Bheda is also negated. Then what is left? Ekam eva advitiyam sajatiya vijatiya swagata bheda rahitam brahma. That is the only thing left. Does that mean he will no longer see the world? No. Shankaracharya says ikshate. It means he sees everything, but he sees everything in himself. And when you see everything in yourself, you automatically develop a love for everything. You will not hate everything. Nothing you will hate. There will be only love. And love means what? The other side of love is ananda, happiness, isn't it? Even laukika love, we are so happy. This is paramarthika love we are talking about. Okay. So it's almost time. 1 minute, 2 minutes. Let me try to finish. So all the sense organs, mind, everything will continue to see the world externally, but you will, in your vision, you will see that this whole world is nothing different from me. I am this world. I have given, I have created this world. Just like we have got love for our children, whatever they do, whatever, habits they have got and everything, eventually we all have love for our children because we consider them to be our creation. Once you understand this entire world, this whole Jagat is my creation, whatever good things, bad things, everything is there. Despite all that, you will have only love for the world. Exactly that, the way we have love for our children. So, ekatva darshanam. That's why he says, yana chakshuhu ikshate. So, like what? I continue to see the waves. Even as I see the waves, I say there is no wave. That is mithyatvam of the Jagat. Mithyatvam of the Jagat does not mean just you remove the entire Jagat from your life. No. You are within the Jagat, you experience the Jagat, but you understand that all this experience is from me only. All that change in that vision is required. So, jnana chakshuhu pashyate drishyate. It is just like a scientist saying everything is nothing but proton, neutron, and electron, Isn't it? Scientists say that, accepts it. Everything can be reduced to proton, neutron, and electron. Every material, every matter. All different types of metals, gold, silver, etc., are all the same. Because at the base level, they are electron, proton, and neutrons. What is a diamond? Diamond is a type of coal only. The essence of a diamond is coal. Coal slightly changed becomes a diamond. And now artificial diamonds also they are making by understanding this. But then the question will be, the chemistry professor was telling that diamond is nothing but coal. Right? There's no difference. Only its slight change, some high pressure, then it becomes diamond. So a student asked him, okay, sir, thank you very much. Here is a piece of coal. Can you give me your diamond ring? There's no difference. What we have to understand is, Vyavaharika Vedam will be there. So a Jnani will not only see the whole world as himself, but at the same time he will also see that Vyavaharikataya, there is a Vedam, there is a difference. But that everything, that difference is all again Mithya Deva. I don't need to take those differences seriously. They are, the reality of those differences is one level below my own reality. So I cannot relate to that Vedam, even though I see that Vedam, experience that Vedam of Vyavaharika Jagat, I don't need to take that as Satyam. That is how the Jnani's vision is. They are all superficial differences. In essence, they are all one and the same. They are Atma. Why? Because they are all created by me. Aham Atma, Aham Brahma. That is what he says, and that is what is meaning by Jnana Chakshuhu Ikshate. We'll stop here. Already crossed through 2-3 minutes. We'll then continue the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya
Vivavasishyate.
Om
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Om. Thank you all.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. Ondum Shamshayam Illaya. I can only remove Shamshayam. Viparyayam, you have to remove yourself. Okay, Hari Om.
Okay.
Hari Om, Namaskaram.
Namaskar.
Hari Om, Namaskaram.